Hi, this is Father Louis Scurdy here at the National Shrine of Our Lady of Mount Carmel. And once again, I'm introducing Father Justin Sinante. And Father Justin is going to have, as his job as a novice, he instructs the guests as to what the symbolism of the shrine are all about. So Justin's going to continue showing us symbolism of the shrine. Thank you, Justin. I appreciate that.
Good to be with you.
Okay, we're starting, you decided, in the sanctuary.
Yes. When you first come into the church, it's a different shape, it's not very common. And I remember when I first came in, I was like, oh, it's kind of an interesting shape. But the idea is, this is like a flame. And it's very much part of our Carmelite spirituality, is this fire within, where the presence of God dwells, is burning love of God within us, kind of like the burning bush. We read in the Old Testament, the bush was on fire but wasn't consumed. And it's also an image of Our Lady. That's why in every Carmelite church there's always a shrine to Our Lady or a statue to Our Lady. And there we see Our Lady encompassed in the flame, because in a real way she's carrying the presence of God in her womb, Jesus Christ. So that's why the architecture is like a flame, a fire within. Also, the ceiling is almost like the inside of a boat. So again, the connection with the bark of St. Peter, the church, where all of us are safe within the bark under the Holy Father, Pope Francis.
What year was the church built, this particular?
Yeah, probably. This first was actually, before it was a shrine, it was a high school seminary. And the original shrine to Our Lady of the Scapular was on 28th Street in Manhattan. But then they had to move from there. And in the 80s, it was made into a shrine church. So it was really originally the chapel to the high school seminary, St. Albert's College High School Seminary. And then now in the 80s, it became the shrine to Our Lady of Mount Carmel, National Shrine.
Now, St. Albert, there's a statue of him outside. He was the patron who gave the rule.
Okay, there's two St. Alberts.
Oh,
so
okay,
one,
okay.
St. Albert, and we'll see the window later, is St. Albert, who's the patriarch of Jerusalem. And the hermits on Mount Carmel in the early days went to Albert, who was a patriarch, and asked him to write a rule of life for these hermits that were already living on Mount Carmel by Elijah's well. So Elijah really is our spiritual father. So some would say, tradition says, we can't historically prove this, but we are the oldest order in the church because we go back to Elijah the prophet and the hermits of Mount Carmel. We really can't. Yeah. So then they converted to Christianity and all that. But we do have a very closeness to Elijah the prophet, and because he lived on Mount Carmel, and there's the well there, and that's where the early hermits lived as well, with this oratory or a chapel in honor of the Blessed Mother. That's where we get the title of Our Lady of Mount Carmel from. So St. Albert of Jerusalem was the patriarch of Jerusalem who put the rule of life for the early hermits to live and to follow. The St. Albert, of the patron of this place, he was an Italian priest, Albert of Trapani. So he's from southern Italy. He was the first canonized Carmelite saint of the church. So each house had to be dedicated in honor of St. Albert of Trapani. He was known for a miracle that he had great devotion to Blessed Mother, and one day he was very deathly ill, dying, and he prayed to the Blessed Mother, and she appeared to him, and basically she asked him to bless his water, and he drank the water, and he was miraculously cured. So this is where is a Carmelite tradition of blessing water in honor of St. Albert with his relics, and the people would drink that or bless themselves with this St. Albert's holy water as well, or St. Albert's well. We have places in Ireland, for example, they have the well of St. Albert. So there's that connection. He was kind of like our St. Anthony of the Franciscan version of St. Anthony would be the Carmelite version is St. Albert.
Beautiful, thank you. Anything else about the sanctuary you want to share with us?
Yeah, all the marble is from Ireland. It's Connemara marble. All these beautiful, the altar candles, the tabernacle, it all has Celtic designs here. As we mentioned, the friars first came from Ireland.
See, we're not on CCTV, so nothing's going to explode if we go closer. And we're looking.
This is copper,
beautiful. As
and
the Celtic, yeah.
Images here. And then the stalls is where the friars would have prayed, especially the faculty members and the students would have been in the shrine church.
Right.
I will show you as we go on to see the Irish altar of St. Patrick. There's some relics there of St. Patrick and the Irish saint, St. Bridget, but there's also a penal cross During the time of the persecution of the Catholics in Ireland, they were forbidden to worship publicly. So we have an original penal cross, which is a very narrow cross that they used to hide within their sleeves and then take it out to pray and offer Mass on it. So we have an original penal cross there from the 1700s and different relics of the Irish saints. So there's a great connection to Ireland because our province was founded as a mission from Ireland. They came over 130 years ago now to work with the poor Irish in New York City, to work in the hospitals and to take care of the parishes down there.
And the interviews prior to coming to the Carmelite Center here were in Galway,
Okay.
Ireland.
Yes. Yes.
And of course, while we were there, we took a tour and we heard a lot about the persecutions and the doors, the rooms or closets in which the priests used to hide. So
To offer the Mass.
when Cromwell's people came over, they didn't find the priest, and the penal crosses as well.
Oh,
So
there.
this is
Yes,
fascinating.
yes.
I mean, continuation of church history as
Yes.
well as international history. Okay, let's walk around, right? Okay. We're in the chapel. Do you call it a chapel? The Shrine Chapel of Our Lady of Mount Carmel here at the Carmelite Center. And Father Justin has graciously given us a tour of the sanctuary. And we're going to take a little tour of the church and the many, many little aspects of the church and the Carmelite theology and history that are affiliated with it. So we're here at the Shrine of the Infant of Prague.
Yes. So the Infant of Prague devotion is a Carmelite devotion, and this is kind of a mini replica of the altar, the Carmelite altar at the National Basilica in Washington, D.C. Each order and each nationality is allowed to have a chapel in the National Basilica in Washington, D.C. So this is kind of a mini version. The only difference is the one in D.C. Has Our Lady of Mount Carmel in the middle. In our place, we already have her in the middle of the church, so we have the Infant of Prague here. But these are the same Carmelite statues that surround that shrine in Washington. So we have Saint Simon Stock, the one that our Blessed Mother gave the scapular to, Saint Therese of Lisieux, the little flower, and we have her shrine there, which I'll show you later. We have Albert of Trapani, who I just mentioned, who's one of our popular saints, friar saints, and Therese of Avila, who's also a doctor of the church, the first female doctor of the church. So this is the different Carmelite saints and surrounded by the Infant of Prague.
Okay, let's continue.
So here's the altar of St. Patrick that I mentioned earlier, and with the penal cross in the beautiful golden reliquary, and then the relics of St. Lawrence O'Toole, John the Baptist, St. Patrick, Blessed Oliver Plunkett, and St. Bridget. So the Irish saints are in that beautiful Irish decorated Celtic reliquary here. And then we'll go over to see the treasury of all the relics that we have as well.
But before that, why Irish?
Again, the Carmelites came from Ireland, so it's a tribute to the founding fathers of the province here in the United States.
And on the grounds, there's a shrine to
Our Lady of Knock as well. And actually, there's a beautiful connection between the Carmelites and Knock. Our Lady shrine over there. There's an early abbey that the Carmelites lived in the 1200s that were right near Knock. So the Carmelites go back to that part in Ireland for many, many years, and it's also fitting Our Lady appeared there. Other two interesting tidbits. The last day Our Lady appeared at Lourdes was July 16th, the feast of Our Lady of Mount Carmel. So that was an important date. And also, the last apparition of Fatima was the feast of Our Lady. Our Blessed Mother appeared in the Carmelite habit. So we see Our Lady of Mount Carmel is very important. It's one of the ancient titles of Our Lady, going back to the Holy Land, and we could see even in modern apparitions the connection between Our Lady, present apparition, and Carmel.
Beautiful. And we're going to continue to this beautiful chapel of relics. And are they all relics of Carmelite saints?
There's mostly Carmelite saints, but there are other saints as well. We have relics of the True Cross, different Carmelite saints. The one I'd like you to focus in on, this is the most precious relic we have after the True Cross, is the jawbone of St. Simon Stock. He's the one I mentioned that our Blessed Mother appeared to and gave the brown scapular. His skull is kept in Aylesford in England, where Mary appeared to St. Simon, but the friars from Ireland gave us, from the British province actually, gave us his jawbone. So we have the major relic of St. Simon Stock right here, the one that our Blessed Mother gave the scapular to. So that's right there in the reliquary. And also here's the habit, a piece of the habit or clothing of Blessed Titus Brandsma, the one I just mentioned earlier, who interceded for our Father Michael Driscoll.
This is Father Louis Skirty with Father Justin taking a beautiful pilgrimage tour of the shrine itself here at the National Shrine of Our Lady of Mount Carmel, and we're going to continue our little pilgrimage.
So here we're at the altar of Saint Therese, the little flower, Saint Therese of the Child Jesus and of the Holy Face, and we're very blessed to have several relics of her. So we have a piece of her flesh, uncorrupt flesh, her bone, her hair, and a cloth that was touched to her body. So it's all in these reliquaries here. And people leave many petitions. One of our most popular shrines, people leave their petitions here. They donate live roses to her shrine. The promise that Therese made, she will shower roses from heaven. These are the graces that come from our Heavenly Father that she intercedes for us. So she said she will spend her heaven doing good upon earth. And one of St. Pius X called her the greatest saint of modern times. So she's one of these saints that you really feel that she's interceding for you and praying for you. And her whole doctrine, her little way of merciful love, that God has tremendous love for each of every one of us, of his children, and how we could do little things with great love for Jesus every day, ordinary things. So her story of the soul is her autobiography, which teaches us the spirituality to be like children, to have this childlike confidence, the love of God the Father, but also to bring love into the world by these little acts of love that we do for God, for one another.
Beautiful. And it's so important for us to really appreciate the fact that she's a 20th century saint. I mean, she's a modern saint, died as a young woman, I believe only 24 years old. So St. Therese of Lisieux, the little flower. Okay, we continue our little pilgrimage in the shrine. Hi, Father Justin and I are at the window dedicated to Blessed Titus Brandsma, servant of God. When a saint or potential saint is on the way to sainthood canonization, when he or she is declared blessed, he or she is referred to as servant of God. Okay, Justin, give us a little...
Yeah, so Blessed Titus Brandsma is more of the recent Carmelites of our holy men. He was martyred during World War II in Dachau, the concentration camp, for writing against the Nazis and preaching against the Nazis. He was a professor, a Dutch professor, a priest, Carmelite priest, who was very renowned, and the Nazis arrested him and they put him in prison. But he would even minister, he's kind of like the Maximilian Kolbe of the Carmelites. He would minister to the prisoners, bring them the Eucharist. He used to carry in his eyeglass case so that he wouldn't get caught, after saying Mass secretly, bringing them the Eucharist. The reason why I wanted to show you this altar is because Blessed Titus needs a miracle for his canonization. And about 10 years ago, one of our Carmelite friars was diagnosed with cancer, very serious, and it was terminal, and there really wasn't much hope for survival. And all the Carmelites and the parishioners of his parish down in Florida and the people asked Blessed Titus's intercession for a miracle. And he was miraculously cured. It's an alleged miracle because it's being investigated now by the Vatican. But potentially this will be we believe, we hope, we pray, so I ask your prayers as well, this will be the miracle for Blessed Titus's canonization. So if you could please pray for that. It's an alleged miracle, but the doctors have said it's miraculous, and all that paperwork has gone to Rome now. So hopefully, Blessed Titus will be one of our most recent Carmelite saints pretty soon. And it's a beautiful connection with the shrine and also with our province, because Father Michael, who survived cancer now over 10 years, it hasn't come back, and he's in very good health now. We believe through the intercession of Blessed Titus, he has been healed.
And for our Florida audience, what church is
we're at St. Jude's in Boca Raton, Florida. So we have several friars down there, very big parish, very active parish. They're also known for the oil of St. Therese. They have holy oil blessed with the relics of Therese, and many miracles have happened down there with that oil. So we really are blessed with so many of these beautiful Carmelite saints really interceding for us and being with us and helping us in our journey of life here in this world.
And I've been to that church, and now I have a reason to go back.
Yes, yes.
And to meet Father Michael.
Father Michael Driscoll. He's in his late 70s. Yeah.
Him. Okay. Yeah. As we continue our little journey, we're going to walk to the next window that you choose to explain.
So we're here at the window of St. Peter Thomas, who was a Carmelite who became the Patriarch of Constantinople. And again, Carmel is Mary's order. So another time when the Carmelites in the early days were struggling and we don't know if we were getting many members, Carmel was never a big order in the church. We've always had Carmelites, but the Blessed Mother promised to St. Peter Thomas, and this is why I came to this window here, when the order was struggling, Mary appeared to Peter Thomas and said that my order of Carmel will be there to the end of time. And throughout history, if you look at all of our saints and throughout history, any time the order almost was decimated, for example, the French Revolution killed many Carmelites, and from having 8 provinces in France, we have maybe 8 friars today. So it was destroyed after the French Revolution. But Mary's promise always came true. The order of Carmel will be there to the end of time, and we're not that strong in France, but in Asia, we have a lot of Carmelites. So Mary always came through. So this is her order, and the promise she gave to Peter Thomas that my order of Carmel will be there to the end of time is a great promise that all of us Carmelites take to heart, that Mary truly is with us and will always guide the order and protect the order.
And as Father continues our little journey, we're just going to give you an overview as to the beauty of the other windows that are here in the National Shrine of Our Lady of Mount Carmel. And in between each of the windows is the beautiful Station of the Cross, showing us the history of the Church, our faith. Here we are, St. Andrew Corsini, St. Blessed John Sureth, and other saints who are Carmelites, showing us the Carmelite charism. This has been Father Louis Skirty with a wonderful experience with my new friend, Father Justin, formerly diocesan priest, presently a novice for the Carmelites. And you're not going to be ordained a novice as a priest. You're already ordained. When will you become full?
So hopefully I'll be taking first vows as a Carmelite in June. And then I would be in those vows temporary for 3 years before solemn vows. So I invite you to keep me in your prayers, but also to pray for vocations. I've been helping the vocation director, and St. Therese is our unofficial vocation director, and we've had a number of young men interested in us. So please pray to St. Therese that she will continue to send more young men to us, and also to give them the grace of perseverance in this Carmelite way of life, serving the Church.
And let me and let Father Justin know what you think of these episodes. I'm going to put out both of our emails on our site. And Father, thank you so much for a wonderful experience at the National Shrine of Our Lady of Mount Carmel, Middletown, New York. God bless you.
Thank you very much.
Keep the word alive and well, and pass this on to your family and friends, and let me hear from you. Father Lou Skirty at hotmail.com. God bless you.